Welcome back to the Midnight Who Show, and today I'm going to be reviewing the second part of the brand new 8th Doctor era from Big Finish, Connections. And this box set features 3 standalone adventures, and they are Here Lies Drax by John Dorney, The Love Vampires by James Kettle, and Albie's Angels by Roy Gill. Now, I really did enjoy the first box set that released last month. I felt it was a really refreshing change of pace for the 8th Doctor, and it was very needed. You know, like I said, I was getting very bored of the 4-part mega box set series that Big Finish has done, so I'm really excited that they're doing this. Now, this box set, I think, was actually just as good as the last one. I really liked all 3 of these stories, and let's start with the first one. Now, I have not listened to The Trouble with Drax, but I do know who the character is, and they are definitely a very interesting Time Lord for the Doctor to face. You know, I really kind of like how they're just kind of using the Doctor a lot of the time, and this story was a really interesting concept with Drax basically, well, this is his funeral, and you start to see what's going on, and why is he sending the Doctor this, package to look after, and there's a lot of good questions in it, and it's a very fun, lighthearted kind of Doctor Who romp, and I really do enjoy it. And seriously, Drax is just a hilarious character, and his interactions with the 8th Doctor, I think, are hilarious. And especially because there's so many Drax, and you don't quite know who is Drax, really. But it's like, I think I would have probably enjoyed this story a little bit more if I listened to the other audio featuring Drax. But it's always a great kind of concept to have this Time Lord con artist who's basically using the Doctor to his own advantage. And I think it's a great story, and I would recommend probably listening to the other one before you listen to this one. But it's still a pretty standalone adventure. Now, the second story, The Love Vampires, is such an interesting story. It reminds me a lot of the last story in the first box set. It's a very original, different take. This time on the vampire mythology, and it's really interesting to have it on the space station, and there's a lot of cool things that they can explore in this one. And I really liked it. It was really interesting seeing, basically the people become vampires and those different stages, and we get to really see them progress. It's definitely a great middle story, but definitely not the strongest story in the overall box set, but still a decent listen. Albie's Angels is my absolute favorite Big Finish story from this entire year. It is an emotional character piece between Helen and her brother Albie, and it also features the Weeping Angels in a very good way. You can only do so much with the Weeping Angels, but I really feel that this story does something a little bit different, as they're really just being kind of used by a person, manipulated for their, time powers, basically. But at the heart of it, it's a story about loss and love, and I really enjoyed it. And it also has a semi-happy ending for Albie and, Bailey, and I quite enjoyed that. And also it pays tribute to Professor Lightfoot, which is awesome. This was just a great story, and I really think it's one of those stories that it takes a returning, adversary for the Doctor and expands into a really deep, emotional character piece, and I really just absolutely enjoy this story. It's just the highlight of this entire box set, and Big Finish for this year. But yes, the 8th Doctor gives an amazing performance. I'm enjoying Helen and Liv. I think they're great companions, and this box set does a really good job exploring Helen a lot more, which I think is a great thing, because we've got a lot of exploration of Liv, so now we got the other side, and I think that's awesome. But yeah, and I'm excited for next month, because we now are taking a break from Helen and Liv, and we're going back into the era of Time War with the 8th Doctor, featuring Cass. How can that be? Well, I cannot wait to find out. So if you've listened to this box set, let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone.